that those things will be useful to you. So, what is a filtered scan? What does it do? Well, we built it inside of an application, and it took about 4 years of intense research and study about what cycles do to the market. That's all. We wrapped it up into a database. We took all of our data and we made it um, look at it in a way to show us exactly how to present it to you. And basically, it's just this. You have to look for the correct times to trade stocks using um, our 20-day FLD or our 40-day FLD or even higher. And so on an end-of-day basis, I'll show you some of those things to look out for because you're watching. But for the full history, the full archive, the full
Okay.
understanding, and just the additional layers of this, which are a basic understanding from this video with how to use the tool, and then for and then go from there to additional layers. So, but this is just the basic stuff, which is stocks either do good or they do better or worse compared to the index. S&P 500, as you've seen, is going sideways. But there are some stocks that we know during a end of a 20-day cycle like this that they're going to fall off a cliff, and you have to look at the scans for that. So we said, what scan should we do? What is the filters appropriate? Should it have components to it? But we think that monitoring the scans you know, um, and showing, let's just show a little bit here what happened today. Okay. We already know
Okay.
from previous days that the structures have been breaking down with several indices uh, not able to pick up any momentum. It's just going sideways. Today was a bounce back day where there was a little bit of momentum to the upside in some of our uh, here it is, our scan here for our bullish scan on the screen here. If you can see it, it does show that the majority of them did move higher on our bullish scan, which is available obviously to you. Then you have the negative, um, which you have here is our um, what we want to do is provide you you know based on what you can see here, the difference between going through this interface and the interface that you can see over in Advised Trader. So you can see just how little value this really is. We can do all of this, and we can we're showing you a more condensed version of things without you having to go look. So there are several of these that are on our scans that are showing some bearish movement as well, and a relatively mixed market because of that pressure that has is still being exerted up from that. Um, by this time, uh, it's now probably peaking that 80-day cycle. This is the 80-day cycle pressure, long-term buyers that are still trying to hold up the market, even though it's definitely not going to work out for them. So a little bit more macro there. But our tools will take the information associated with the indexes and show it to you uh, uh, filtered for the best opportunities cyclotechnically. First of all, you can see that because the 80-day cycle is still pressing up, you still have to look at stocks that are going through their 20-day FLD in the positive direction. That's why at the end of the day, we're the best stocks that we think are going to be filtered to be the best going forward on an end of day trading basis. But today, there were quite a few that did get added to that list. The first being AMD. AMD, it's like everybody, knows, has been moving up on the chips names. It's at almost all-time highs here, and it's definitely propping up the market today. Uh, uh, chips, they're still being sold into, so it is like a cautious thing to do. However, it does appear that that 80-day cycle is pushing things up higher into the top of the range, as we did specify before on updates. So, but AMD did give the signal today, as you can see here. It opened above the 20-day and 40-day FLD right here, signaling a reason to go long there if the market supports that. And of course, if the market supports that, isn't that the question that you want answered? Yes, the cyclotechnical data does support a long trade here because it's AMD. The sector supports it. The market is positive. Um, uh, if the implied volatility, of the options is suggesting to do a zero DTE trade, you can. I mean, it's just a regular trade. It's like controlling 100 shares at that point. So yes, or you can just do a three shares just to participate. But of course, with this is this name brand here, AMD, on a day where chips are doing well, which I believe is what happened. So there's a tech rally, and so I'll go through some of the other ones. Applied Materials, as you can see here, went through its 40-day FLD and met resistance. You'd have to watch out for that. We'll concentrate on watching this setup, but I don't usually take this where the FLD is above price and the 40-day gets hit first. I usually don't do that. It's not really a thing. But if you do it, be careful. You'll see that this one here broke through the 40-day FLD, but didn't come close. There's some of these that are on low volume. So again, you would stay away from these unless it's approved through the filtering process. In this case, it's high relative volume associated with the 50 period. So if it's not breaking out through and it doesn't meet the conditions associated with the 20-day FLD, the purple line, then here's one that went through Shake Shack. Rivian went through today. It started above both the 20 and 40-day FLD here this morning and proceeded to move higher. Rivian is a brand name that you have to have ready to go on a day like this. Are there any more? Don't think so. Let's switch over to the negative or the bearish. Not much to talk about except for Costco, where today it fell through the previous day and dropped pretty hard. So you could buy one or two shares, not a recommendation, and then, take it to the end of the day when it does that. I mean, basically, you're going to search for the bottom here. So, you can get 3 shares or something, and, each share is $10 gain. You made $30. But more importantly, you have a successful trade. So JP Morgan actually went through, and then it fell through yesterday and reversed higher. So that was a trap. Sometimes there's traps. So you have to be aware of that. I would know right away that they were trapping sellers here on this. Here's a trap on the daily chart by the financials, JP Morgan, American Express. Yesterday had a breakdown through the FLD, but we said don't get too creative with end of day trading with strong, stocks that are going sideways, and there's no real direction with the interest rates. Pretty soon we'll see what happens, but JP Morgan and American Express, they pretty much do whatever they want anyways in the market. But when they're strong like this, the market's generally moving higher, and if not, it's moving lower. It's 5 o'clock here. You guys have a good weekend or a good rest of your day, and if we don't see you, have a good weekend. But we'll be here tomorrow. See ya, Mika.